This is a clip just showing some of the games that I would introduce to make Heelwork training interesting and a bit varied. So the first thing I'm doing here with Scoot is just doing some twists just to get him excited and get him animated, and then going from that into work. So using something that he perceives as an informal trick to pair that with Heelwork training. The biggest mistake people tend to do when they do Heelwork training is they pattern train the dog. Here I'm just doing some grab his collar, pushing him back and let him spring and jump up to hand touch. It's a great way of getting your dog to lift up higher, and you can extend the trot that way. Again, making my circles really fast and informal, and loads of play and interaction. When I get to this stage of Heelwork training where the dog technically understands the exercise, I want to try and build drive as much as I possibly can. So, and knowing what suits your dog, here I'm doing lots of praising while he possesses the toy, because Scoot is not a strong dog naturally. I'm doing the beat you game where I'm racing him to the toy here, throwing him back, cheating and moving off into a very fast right circle. Changing it up, being very spontaneous with my movements so that the dog has to catch up there. And rewarding again. As soon as the dog makes the effort to catch up with me, I reward instantly. So switching to food here. Using that as reinforcement as well, if that's what your dog is motivated by. In this case, I'm using a ball to reward Scoot, which is his biggest reward. He loves to chase a ball, so I'm using the thing he really, really wants to chase and earn, as it were. I like my dogs to jump up and be really light on their feet, so I encourage that as much as I can. Again, short bursts and a really high value reward for the dog. Sending them through the legs, back into a circle. Sending them through the legs again, carrying on. And rewarding, again, just to get the dog to drive around the circle and be very right-handed. Here's Thriller, doing a similar session again, just keeping it all very light. So grabbing a collar, throwing her back, and going off into heel work with sudden change of direction. Rewarding the dog with lots of play and keeping it really high energy. So asking you to do a trick, adding side steps in. So again, the core exercises that you've done along the course, mixing them up and making it a little bit more fun. Sending her through my legs, asking her to find position. Doing some statics here, knocking her off my leg and then rewarding her, getting her to rebound on to my leg. Sending around something, a bit like obediality. Again, a nice variation, getting the dog to catch up. Hopping, skipping, anything works. There's no rules to it. It's all about just having fun and interacting with your dog. And in the midst of it, doing some informal heel work training. So twisting, asking them to find position, changing direction. Sudden changes and rewarding the dog for catching up. Again, this would be built up gradually, so if I had a dog that didn't have a lot of confidence at this exercise, I would just go off not quite so abruptly and then build up the speed of my catching up. So here I'm going to tease her with the toy and race her to the toy on this one. So push back and beat you to the toy. She grabs it, excellent. So this time I'm going to do that again. And I'm actually going to ask her to come off into heel position, which, as you can see, I race her to the toy. So I ask the dog to come back into position after I've actually won the toy. So building up the drive and building up the value for the toy. So Again, hyping her and then asking her to come into position. Again, if she goes to the toy, it's not a big drama. I just grab the collar, try again. Again, it's all about the way in which you handle it. I'm not worried if the dog makes a mistake. I want to keep the drive. So try again. As soon as she hits the leg, rewarding the dog and letting her spring onto the toy. Keeping everything very fun and informal, letting her jump around, letting her grab the toy, tugging with her, twisting her. So throwing and running away, letting the dog catch me up, and then going into slow pace, for example. So changing up the rhythm of my training, being exciting and fast and then slow, and adding the drive to that entity as well. Twisting on the move and rewarding the dog, keeping her moving, keeping the dog light, and then keeping the enthusiasm up. That's the key factor. Holding the collar and getting the dog to spring into position and rewarding as soon as she comes into that leg. So restraining her from coming on the leg and then giving her her word so she's firing into that position. Yeah, I'm getting into circle behind me. Again, this is going to help the speed of the dog come into position. All these little things are about motivation and building drive for the dog wanting to get into the work. So getting her to do a hand touch there on the left-hand side and then rewarding her with a toy. So, as you can see, I had the toy and the dog's collar in my hand. Here's a punch, and I'm using distraction of the other dogs whilst they're running around. Again, just building up a younger dog, so I'm going to be less intent on the technicalities of my dog's heel work. All I want to do is build drive and enthusiasm. Using the other dogs as distraction is also a little bit of a, he's got to work harder to beat them into position, or the possibility that they might grab the toy, so he's going to hopefully give me more attitude. In this instance, I'm not worried about the accuracy of it. I just want attitude and drive. As you can see there, Fire's trying to distract him. He's fighting to stay in position. When I get a little bit that I like, I reward him. As you can see, she's running into trying to get him out of position. He's trying to keep on position. So mixing up, doing my IPO hand there as well. Just different variations and ideas for you to do with your own dogs. Heel work should be a game. It shouldn't be boring, it shouldn't be monotonous, and it certainly shouldn't be pattern trained at this stage when you're building drive up. Just some ideas for you to play around with. Good luck, guys. Enjoy your dogs.